quick story. 2 years ago in Denver, we were at the World Championships of Public Speaking. And after the last contestant stopped, they interviewed the contestants. Then much like last night, they stalled with jokes, and it kept going and going and going. I had been drinking water all morning long. So I was like this. I couldn't stand it. I finally made my way to the back of the room, and as soon as they announced third, second, and first place, I ran out to the restroom. I made it. Thank you. Thank you. But as soon as I come out of the restroom, I see them setting up. They have a nice, beautiful Toastmaster background, and they were putting up those little red things for the red carpet. And I was like, what's going on? And they're like, well, this is where the winners are going to come take pictures with anybody that wants to line up. And I was there first in line, waiting. And they made me wait about an hour until Luisa and the others decided to come out. But I was the first one there. And that's where I got to meet for the very first time Luisa Montalvo. I was the first one to take a picture with her. And I thought it was just going to be me and her. But as we do things in the trio, as soon as I step up, David and Jim step up right there with me. So it was all of us taking a picture with Luisa Montalvo. Let me introduce her. Before her appearance in the international contest semifinals in 2019, Luisa Montalvo shared her motivation for competing. I want to make my mom proud of her daughter. She achieved that and more. Luisa competed at the Toastmasters World Championship of Public Speaking against 33,000 other contestants. Last night we had 8. She did a few more. There were 33,000 other contestants from 143 countries, which is why we truly are international. In her hopes of breaking culture barriers with humor, Luisa won second place that year, and then had to take a picture with David and Jim, which kind of ruined it for her. But it was a great year for her. Luisa first joined Toastmasters in 1989 and takes on speaking engagements where she sheds light on public speaking techniques by sharing anecdotes from her life, continues to break cultural barriers with humor, and talks about honoring the sacrifices made by women who came before her. We're thrilled to have her join us. Please stand and give her a warm District 3 welcome, Luisa Montalvo.
Thank you so much. David, we can continue that. I need 4 volunteers. I need 4 volunteers right here. Come on down. Come on down. 4 volunteers. Let me have 4 volunteers. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I also need Miss Phyllis Allen to come to the stage for some assistance. Please join me in welcoming Phyllis Allen. All right, we're about to play The Price is Right, where what the rule is, you will bid on the item that Miss Phyllis Allen is about to describe to you. Now remember the rules. You cannot go over the price. If you go over, you don't win. So let's go ahead and listen to the description by Miss Phyllis Allen.
Fellow Toastmasters, these furniture scratch markers by Tool Bench Hardware come in 3 colors: cherry, maple, and oak.
Now, for these 3 furniture markers in one package, go ahead and write your prices down. Remember not to go over. And just a hint, nothing is over $10 in this game. You've written your, everyone finished? All right, the actual retail price of these markers is $3.99. Let me see. We got 3, we got 9, 7, and what was yours? $8.50. You are the winner. Hang on. Now, you can go ahead and leave your posts there, your boards there. Thank you so much for playing, and appreciate you. Four more contestants, come on down. I need 4 more contestants. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yes, grab a board. Go ahead, Miss Allen.
These blacksmith precision crafted grooming products will help make your daily grooming routine effortless. There is a warning: do not shave live skin or use on foot warts or bumps.
Oh my, sounds like a dangerous item. Everyone finished? The actual retail price of this pedicure set is $7. Let me see your answers. $17.99, $8.99, $5.99, and we have the winner right there. Thank you so much. One more time, David. 4 more volunteers. Let me have 4 more. I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Come on down. Let's listen to the lovely description Phyllis is about to give us on this next item.
This 8-digit digital calculator can perform arithmetic calculations and other functions. It doesn't state the other functions.
Got it? All right. The actual price of this calculator was $3.99. Let me see your bids. $3.90. We have an exact winner. Thank you so much. And for the last round, I need 4 more contestants. I've got 1, 2. I need 2 more. 3. 1 more. 1 more contestant right here. Come on down. Phyllis, this next item up for bid?
This item is Speed Stick Power Antiperspirant Deodorant for Men. It provides powerful odor protection that lasts all day and has a clean, masculine scent, my favorite. Luisa, you did tell them I'm single.
Yeah, I'll let them know. Thank you. Go ahead and place your bids. And the actual retail price of this item is $279. $298. $298. $598, $499, $489. What was yours?
$598.
Okay, so I believe we have the winner, right? Oh no, everybody went over. Oh my gosh, everybody went over. This has never happened before. Why are you doing this to me, Phoenix? I haven't any suggestions. I have no idea what to do. The closest one would have been
$298.
There you go. Thank you so much. There you go, thank you. They say you're supposed to start a speech with a powerful introduction. I hope that's what that was. I think after all of us being locked up in COVID for a year, year and a half, unfortunately for me, it was never a shutdown or a lockdown. I had to keep doing what I was doing. But for many of us, we didn't have a choice. So I figured, why not start with playing a game? I'll explain later why I actually did this. But let me tell you about the items that I had people bid on. You see, My speech today will be in 3 sections. Stop, look, and listen. This section is the stop section. You see, when I picked this up, I was shopping. I was in a rush. I needed something since I'm always dealing with dogs. Lint lifter, right? That's what it looked like. So I grabbed it and I took it home. And then just as Phyllis described on the very back, it's a pedicure set. It's not going to lift any lint. If anything, it's going to shred my clothes. This is to take off the back part of your heel. Oh my gosh, Luisa, I made a mistake. I bought the wrong thing. So what did I do? Went home, left it there on my dresser, and I said, one of these days, I'm going to return it. The next item, markers, furniture markers. I thought because they were right next to the dry erase markers, they would be dry erase markers. They weren't. So I get home and I start using it and I go to wipe it off and it doesn't come off. Why? Because once again, Luisa was in a rush. Did she bother to read that it said furniture markers? No, Luisa didn't. So I put the cap back on, and I thought, I don't think I can return it, but maybe I can give it to someone. So what did I do? Went home, left it there on top of the dresser. The speed stick menon masculine scent. Oh my goodness, are you serious? And then I opened it and I thought, I might be able to get away with masculine scent when I'm working with the dogs because they don't care. But then I opened it and it was a gel. Oh, I hate the gel because then you're like sticky for a couple hours and you're walking around like this. And I said, I can't use this. But $2.79, I need to return that. Put it there on my dresser. Then there was the calculator. This calculator, the only reason I had bought that is because it had a solar power little panel. I thought, this is great. I can use this. I won't have to buy a battery. So I kept it because we were going to do a Gavel Masters Club with some children. And we were going to work on some math problems. So I took it with me, and I get it out of the box. There's no digital nothing. What? I look at the box, needs 1 battery. I'm like, oh my goodness. Of course, all these kids pulled out their iPhone and said, Miss, why don't you just use my phone? I still really don't even know how to operate the iPhone either, so I was at a loss. But I'd made another mistake. So I took the item, and by now, you can assess, I've got a little pile right there on my dresser. Because one of these days, I'm going to return it. I'm going to give it to someone. I can't throw it away. That's throwing away money. I paid for those items. But do you know what I was doing every single morning? I was getting up, ready to start the day, ready to get going, and there, the first thing I see is I walk down the hall, right there in my bedroom on my dresser, are the mistakes I've made. Every single morning. And even though it wasn't really a big thing, it was enough to upset me and remind me of the mistakes I'd made. Little, small, stupid mistakes, but a reminder. One day a friend of mine came over and said, what's this pie you got going on here? I said, oh, and I went through the whole thing explaining I did this wrong, I bought this, and I did this. And I said, why don't you throw that stuff away? I said, throw it away? Are you kidding me? I spent money on that stuff. And then she asked me the most important question. How much did all that cost? Oh, I don't know, about $13 maybe? I said, but you know what? Every morning I get up and I look at it and I get upset. She said, so you are allowing $13 of stuff to upset you every single morning? Oh my gosh. She was right. She was right. And I hated it that she knew that and I couldn't see that. How simple was it to notice that? So I went over, I grabbed a trash can, calculator, deodorant, although my brother could have used it, markers, pedicure set. I might still keep that. Threw it on the trash can. And on Tuesday morning, when I was bolted out of bed because I heard that trash truck and I hadn't put my trash out, I grabbed it, took it outside, threw it in the trash container, and it was gone. Just like that. Now, for the next week or two, every time I passed by my dresser, I would notice it was bare. There wasn't anything on it. But after about 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, now I just walk by and I don't think about it. And the reason I'm telling you this today is because, is there anything sitting on your dresser? Is there anything in your mind that you've been hanging on to that you shouldn't need to be hanging on to? Isn't it just easy to throw it away, start over, let that go? You know, ever since I did that, I can't tell you how great I feel. And if I make another mistake in the future, I'm going to be okay with it, because as soon as I realize I've made that mistake, I'm going to let it go. Stop beating yourself up about mistakes you've made. Let them go. Second portion is look. My best mentor, Phyllis Allen, from our club Hub City, told me, look, Luisa, there's always next year. I had just competed for the first time in the international conference speech. I hadn't won. I made it to club. I made it to area. I made it to division. I was feeling pretty good. People were telling me, it's gonna win. It's great. I got to the district conference, got on stage. I remember giving the best delivery I thought I had ever given. And I walked pretty confidently off that stage thinking, first year, I'm gonna win this. Didn't even place. Not second, not third, nothing. In fact, I remember driving home crying. It meant that much to me. I was so sure of the win. God, my God, why didn't you let me win? You knew I wanted to win. And I say my God because I don't want to offend some of you. I want to offend all of you. I was so upset. I remember calling my mentor, Phyllis Allen. Phyllis, I didn't win. She said, Luisa, look, there's always next year. God. Another year? When I first joined Toastmasters in 1989, I set a goal for myself. Now I laugh because that goal was so unattainable. I told myself I was going to win first place in all 4 competitions in the same year. Right, exactly. I wish somebody would have laughed at me back then. I thought I'm going to do table topics, I'm going to do evaluation, I'm going to do humor, and I'm going to do international, and I'm going to sweep the board. Exactly what I thought. My first district conference in 1989 was in Corpus Christi. My mother, my father, and my 4-year-old niece attended. My mom and dad were always in the audience, cheering me on. That always meant so much to me. And my little niece, of course my mom's granddaughter, is climbing all over her and she's trying to get entertained. Friday night, table topics. I take the stage. I nail it. Luisa Montalvo, table topics, first place. Woohoo! Yes! I get my trophy. We all go back up to the hotel room. My niece is playing with the trophy. And I'm like, careful, careful, careful. That's my first one. Careful, please, thank you. I've got 3 more to go. Saturday, the next day, international conference speech. I had the most motivating, powerful speech. I was ready. I got up there. 2.5 minutes into my speech, guess what my brain did? We're done. Have you ever had 400 people looking at you like this? It didn't feel too good. I couldn't remember the rest of my speech. I even tried to go back like 30 seconds to start again, and it just wasn't happening. I looked at the audience and said, well, I guess I'm finished. And I walked off the stage. I remember walking straight to the restroom as everybody is staring at me, and my mother and my niece right behind me. I walk into the restroom, into a stall, and I start crying. There's going to be a lot of crying in this speech, just so you know. My little niece looks under the restroom wall. Luisa, why are you crying? It's okay, Ashley, I'll be all right. No, why are you crying? Because I wanted to win. Because I wanted to win, Ashley, and I'm not going to now. What do you win, Luisa? They give you a trophy, Ashley. Luisa, you already have one, remember? Wow. She was right. I'd already gotten a trophy. She humbled me, a 4-year-old humbled me within seconds. The hardest part of that was going back on stage, because they call all the contestants back in their so loving way, because they want to know what club you came with and when you joined and all that good stuff. And I wasn't going to go on stage. And my niece said, Luisa, they're saying your name. I stood there with all the other contestants, and the Toastmaster, in his odd way, said, well, Luisa Montalvo, what would you say is the worst fear you have when competing? I wanted to punch him and say, I have the fear of punching the Toastmaster. But I stopped, and everybody got deathly silent And it's almost as if they felt bad for me. And I looked at him, I said, I guess my mind or my brain stops working. That's my fear. And he goes, oh, yes. And I said, well, you see, I stopped speaking because my brain said, you're doing table topics. Your 2 minutes are up. Stop talking. I forgot which competition I was in. Everybody laughed. And it's how I got over that whole thing. And believe me, the next year that I got on stage, because I forced myself to get on stage. So every time that I get on stage, I have that fear that my brain is going to say, you're doing table topics. Such a fear. So when I rejoined in 2013, and I didn't make it the first year for international, or the second, or the third, or the fourth, or the fifth, or the sixth, I remember telling Phyllis, you know what, Phyllis? If I don't win this year, I'm done. Phyllis says, look, Luisa, can I be honest with you? Sure. You know, it just doesn't look like you're having fun. You're so competitive. You take this too seriously. Why don't you just go up there and have fun? I'm like, Phyllis, this is a competition. It's not supposed to be fun. All right. Do what you want. And then I stopped and thought, why would she tell me that? Maybe the audience is sensing that I'm too into this, that is too serious for me. People had given me all these kind of reasons why I hadn't won. I had won a speech contest, the humorous contest, and gone to district with that, won first place. And a gentleman comes up to me and says, you know, Luisa, that speech wouldn't have worked in Boston. The only thing I could think of was, well, thank God I wasn't competing in Boston. But then I thought, wait a minute, people will evaluate you and they'll give you a reason why they say what they say. They don't just say stuff. So I asked him, excuse me, hang on. Why wouldn't it have worked in Boston? And he so intelligently said, I don't know, it just wouldn't have. Well, what am I supposed to do with that? Now, if he had said, well, in Boston, they don't like short Hispanic women with 3 necks, okay. Now I get it. Okay, I've got something to work with now. So in 2019, I took Phyllis's advice. Every time contest came around, I was like, where's Luisa? She's over there in the corner, still going over her speech. I don't know why she's worried about going over her speech when she's going to be on stage in 20 minutes. I don't know what she hasn't memorized yet or she hasn't done yet, but I wouldn't talk to anybody. I wouldn't say hello to anybody. I didn't want anybody getting in my head. I didn't want anything to distract me because of what had happened in 1990. I thought, you know what, Luisa? It's your last year. You're not going to compete anymore. Hey, how's it going? Hey, great. What's going on? Yeah, hey, nice to see you. Hey, you're competing? Excellent, great. So I took my friend's advice, and I started to have fun at the conference. I'd never done that before. People were kind of shocked. Oh, Luis, oh, you're not competing because you're talking to me? No, I'm competing. Hi, how's it going? By some amazing miracle, I won at district. Wow. 7 years. It took me 7 years. I remember I was loading up dogs to take them on transport to New York about 2 months later, and my phone went off. Ding! Congratulations, you've placed first in regionals. I'm looking at the dogs. Check this out! Check this out! I'm number 1 in the region! Woo! They didn't care. Dogs never care. People tell you dogs care, they didn't care. And then I went on to semifinal. And then I went on to grace the stage. People came up to me after and said, Luisa, I had you placing first. I said, me too. Why weren't you a judge? So many people would have traded places with me. So many contestants would have easily taken second, would have loved the opportunity. And I went home thinking, why didn't I win first? Because my God will always show me within minutes or days why something happens. I get all these invitations just because I won second place to go to Portugal, Lithuania, Saudi Arabia, Canada. I was being invited to all these places, and I was getting so excited. And then guess what happened? COVID. All transportation stops. Oh my gosh. Aaron Beverly, he's not going to get to go anywhere. I called him up. Aaron, I am so sorry. This is terrible. He said, Luisa, don't worry about it. When I won second 2 or 3 years ago, I got to travel, so it's okay. And that's when I realized, wow, that's why my God didn't let me win. And I was okay with it. Look, there's something that you're wanting to accomplish in your life. You may not be there yet. Ask yourself, how serious about this do you want to get? But then again, don't get so serious that you're not having fun. Thank you.
Come on, we can do better than that.
Oh, there's still one more section. Sorry. I like your eagerness. And I really wasn't thirsty. I've just always wanted to do that. You know how the professionals go over and drink their water and you're like, power move. Last section is listen. You might not believe this, but I was kind of an attention hog. I know. You can't believe it. As a kid, I was always walking in the door, hey, Mom, guess what happened to me today? And she would sit there and she would listen because she was good at that. I remember walking in one day, Mom was washing dishes. I said, Mom, I don't like living here, so I'm going to run away. I remember she put the dishes down in the sponge, and she looked at me and she said, Luisa, you're 5 years old. Where are you going? I said, Mom, I've had it. I don't like sharing my room with my brother. I don't like living here. I'm just going to run away. She could have done what I think most parents would have done. And that would have been, do you know how lucky you are to have a roof over your head? Food on the table? You know what? You want to run away? Go ahead. Run away. Get out of here. And don't come back. What did my mom say? You know what, Luisa? I don't like living here either sometimes. What? Your dad wants dinner on the table when he gets home? I still have to do wash. I have to iron his clothes. I still have to feed you, make sure you take your bath, get you off to school the next day. Sometimes I don't like living here either. This wasn't going the way I'd planned. She looked at me and said, can I run away with you? What would we do, Mom? I don't know. You go pack some clothes and I'm going to pack a lunch. I'll make us peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I'll pour some juice, and we'll go have a picnic. Okay. So I went and grabbed my little suitcase, packed a few items, my favorite teddy bear, and she had already finished packing lunch, and we left the house walking. We walked down the alley, and they were building a new expressway. And she said, why don't we walk down there and watch them build the expressway? Okay, I mean, I'd never run away before, so I'm kind of new at all this. I thought, well, it sounds like she's done it a couple of times. I'm going to go with her lead. So we get to right where they're building everything and the bulldozers, and she takes out this real pretty little blanket, and she takes out her sandwiches, and my dad's thermos with the juice, and she sits down, and I sit down next to her. And for about 15 or 20 minutes, neither one of us said anything. I sat there, enjoyed it, and there's something about watching bulldozers moving dirt and lifting it and and all this other stuff. It was kind of cool. And I kept looking at my mom to see what she was going to do next, and she's done this before. And she was just sitting there watching and eating her sandwich and drinking the juice. Kind of cool. Then I kind of started to get a little nervous. Then, well, what's going to happen when it gets dark? And right then she looked at me, she says, you know, it's not so bad at home. Maybe we can work on the things that bother us. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, Mom. She goes, you want to go back? Yeah, can we go back? Sure. The security of having a home, somewhere to go, knowing there was going to be food on the table, knowing that you were going to get yelled at or whatever. It was just the security of knowing that that was going to be there. So she packed everything up, and we walked back in silence. And every now and then, when I was feeling kind of down, I would say, Mom, can we run away again? And she would say, sure. So I'd go get my favorite stuff, and she would pack a lunch, and we'd walk down the alley, or we'd walk the other way, or up the street to the store. But to me, that turned into running away. And I didn't realize why that worked. It was because she listened to what I said. You see, the problem with people now is when people talk. If I were to say, oh, I caught a kitten yesterday, right away you start thinking, oh, kittens. I don't like kittens. I'm allergic to kittens. I have a dog. Why did she talk about a dog? I like dogs. Well, you know what? No, now that I think about it, I'm kind of allergic to kittens and dogs. And wait a minute. You're supposed to be listening. You see, most of the time, instead of listening, we're getting a table topic ready in our head. What if she asked me what I think? I'm not going to have an answer ready. Oh my gosh, I've got to be ready. So we've lost the art of listening. And I'm so grateful that years ago, my mom knew how to listen. And because of that, and because of Toastmasters, giving me the ability to learn how to listen. What is the person actually saying? What do they want you to get out of what they're saying? Well, I had surgery. Oh, I had surgery too. They didn't ask you if you had surgery too. They want you to know that they had surgery and they're in pain. Wow, I'm really sorry about that. How are you doing now? See, that's why most of us talk, because we want people to know how we're feeling or what's there? I got it. Mic check, check. So here's the ironic thing. My mother is now in the early stages of Alzheimer's. So her short-term memory is not there. Long-term memory, it's there. Instead of me walking in, hey, Mom, guess what happened to me today? I walk into her house, Mom, I'm here in the bedroom. Mom, I brought you lunch. Okay. And I'll set it up for her, almost picnic style the way she had for me. Mom, what did you do today? And she'll stop and she'll try to remember. And I can tell it's almost too much for her to remember what she did today. I'll say, Mom, why don't you tell me about the day you met Dad? My parents had been married for 57 years until he passed. And when I ask her that, her face just lights up. Did I tell you that your father was in a stunning blue suit with a tie? And he was across the dance hall. We used to get together at the Blue Moon. It was called the Blue Moon. And he was over there, and he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he walked straight over to me and asked me to dance. I was so nervous. I said, what did you dance to, Mom? She said, are you lonely tonight? Do you miss me tonight? And immediately I'll get up and I'll ask her to dance, and we'll dance because my father is no longer here to dance with her. And her face just lights up. That's the beauty of being able to listen. I want to thank you today so much for the opportunity to have been here. Please stop. Stop keeping all your mistakes hidden. Stop holding them. Let them go. And look, whatever it is in your dream, whatever it is you want to do, if you really want it, keep working for it. But make sure to have fun. And listen. Well, just do that. Listen. Thank you. Thank you.
Lisa, thank you. On behalf of District 3, we have a gift for you.
Calculator.
It's a calculator,
Does it have the battery?
some markers.
You're too kind.
Just kidding. Thank you very much for being here and gracing us with that. I kind of got choked up toward the end because it's a very beautiful story. And when you listen, you get to see the beauty in others. And I believe we all listen to you.
All right.
Thank you.
No, thank you.